Loving Saram, Sundar Anantharaman sir, to the studios of Sri Sathya Sai Media Center, a hearty welcome to you.
Saram.
This year we are going to have the Sri Sathya Sai Vahini Sudhamrutham certification program for the third consecutive year in Sai Kulwant Hall on 23rd April 2026. It is such a joy to see the increasing interest in so many people, hundreds of youth and devotees who want to now read the Vahinis, understand, assimilate, and benefit from the Vahinis. And I think that is such a welcome development for everyone in the Sai fraternity. And you have had the opportunity to spearhead this program. Tell us, how did this program begin? Let's talk about the genesis of this beautiful offering to Swami.
Yeah, thank you, brother. At the outset, I offer my most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our most beloved Bhagawan, without whom this program would not have seen the light of the day. Now, to answer your question, the genesis of Sri Sathya Sai Vahini Sudhamrutha actually goes back to the year 2019, when the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organizations had launched a program on the study of Vahinis through the Samitis. In fact, on 20th of November, I distinctly remember 2019, we had a conference of all the conveners of Sathya Sai Seva organizations, pan-India basis. And in Sai Kulwant Hall, we had a special program on the launch of the Vahini Swadhyaya program, which was a study circle kind of a program to live the message of the Vahinis through the Samitis. Now, in fact, that was a time when a lot of brothers from Media Center came and presented the various dimensions of Vahinis. It was a very interactive program. And COVID began after that. In fact, COVID was a blessing in disguise, in the sense that, it turned out to be an opportunity, because everybody were working from home and there were lockdowns and things like that. It was an opportunity for everybody to have an online satsang on the Vahinis. So this program was a 5-year program starting from 2020 to 2025, wherein the 15 Vahinis were divided into the 5 years. So the program was to complete the 15 Vahinis before the centenary celebrations in 2024. So that started off. And ever since then, our All India President Sri Nimish Bhai was insisting that we should also start a certification program as an extension of this Svadhyaya program. So this certification program was not meant for all the devotees. It had an age limit. So we had designed online certification program for the age group of people from 20 to 60 years. And this was a 3-year program, wherein we divided the 15 Vahinis based on their intensity, in the sense their philosophical content. So we started off with simpler Vahinis, and thereby kept on adding more philosophical Vahinis in group 2 and group 3. So it had 3 groups. The 15 Vahinis were divided into 3 groups. So it was an online program. So it started off in 2023, the certification program, with about 200 students. Then we added up some more in 2024 with the student strength was about 700. And in 2025, there were an additional of 900 students. We started off with 6 languages: English, Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, Marathi and Kannada. And in 2024 and 2025, we added 6 more languages. And today, Sathya Sai Vahini Sudhamrutha is happening in 12 different languages, with an additional of Oriya, Gujarati, then Malayalam, Nepali, Manipuri also. So with all the additional languages, there are about 12 languages in which this program is going on.
Awesome. I think every year it has grown strength to strength. And I think the interest with which people are now reading the Vahinis and trying to understand Bhagawan's message is such a heartening development. And probably you would have had experiences, or you would have seen this firsthand, what impact Vahinis has had in the lives of all these participants.
Yes, brother. In fact, to tell you very frankly, when we started, the devotees were not even aware of what Vahinis were. And they were not knowing how many Vahinis are there and what Vahinis meant for them. And, from that stage, we always have been emphasizing on the three aspects of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. And Shravanam was the course content which we were sharing for them. And the Mananam is the contemplation they have to do with not only the attending classes but also study of Vahini books. And the third was Nididhyasanam is the actual practice, internalization of the messages. So when we were emphasizing on this, a lot of students took it very, very seriously and started practicing the content of what we are sharing in Vahini Sudhamrutha sessions. So there has been a lot of experiences. In fact, every year we have been having very few students sharing their experiences in their own native languages. Not only the students, but also resource persons were having experiences when they are teaching. Because for resource persons, it's a different dimension. They have to prepare. And preparing the content and, handling a presentation for 90 minutes is no joke. And that too, a topic like Vahinis. So they need a lot of preparation. So they went depth into the study of Vahinis and things like that. A few resource persons have really shared their experiences, and most of the experiences were related to the Gayatri Mantram. Even Dharma Vahini, there are 2 chapters which Swami has dealt with Gayatri Mantram, and that had had a lot of impact on not only the students but also on the resource persons. One of the story which we have understood from a resource person is that one resource person who handles Kannada sessions, where actually she was an administrator, anchoring of that session, and there were nobody to handle that session because the person whom the assignment was given, she could not join the session because of network issues. So she was forced to handle the session herself, and she did a wonderful job. With Swami's grace, the 90 minutes went flawless, and most of the students were very much impressed with the session and the impact of Gayatri Mantram. Now it so happened, when she was handling session, her husband was also sitting and listening to the presentation silently. Now, though he had faith in Gayatri Mantra, he could not practice it diligently. Later on, the impact of this session was he started chanting the Gayatri Mantra regularly and with all the interest, all the 3 times in a day. And it so happened this Gayatri Mantra protected him from a fatal road accident. And as if to ratify that, Swami came on his dream the next day, and with both the hands he had blessed, and he told in Kannada, life insurance Marsidini. That means, I have given you the life insurance. Meaning that you pay the premium of Gayatri and you get the blessing of Bhagawan for life insurance. This is one. The second was a professor who was a student, and she normally drives her EV car to her college and back. Once it so happened that her eyes fell on the meter and it showed 40, and suddenly it got dropped to 10. And she was very much perplexed because the next gas station, when she put the map, was about 20 kilometers, and she could not definitely with that calculation reach that place. So she chanted loudly the Gayatri Mantra and kept on driving. The faith in Gayatri Mantra ensured that she reaches the gas station with no problem, and it was 0. The meter was 0. And the gas station person was very perplexed and said, how did you drive? And in Bangalore, traffic, driving a car, and that too if it stops in this thing, it not only hampers you, it also hampers the entire traffic, and you will be a point of ridicule. So she was praying for that, and Gayatri Mantra protect. These are all things which really the experiencer only can experience the experience she has experienced. She can only express, and any amount of verbal explanation will not be able to carry that conviction, but then the person who experiences will have a lot of impact. So these two are simple experiences, one of the resource person and one of the student, specifically on this Gayatri Mantra.
No, I think Bhagawan time and again has mentioned about Gayatri Mantra, and the very fact that Swami has dedicated 2 chapters in Dharma Vahini should let us know how powerful this mantra is, when Bhagawan is bringing back the ancient knowledge and the wisdom of our scriptures. And I think Swami gave it to us in a manner that is most suited for our times through the Vahinis, for our times.
Exactly.
And this is a classic example of, how thanks to Swami writing about it in Dharma Vahini, people are now chanting and now people are benefiting. And
Exactly.
I think similarly, whatever Bhagawan has mentioned, be it in Prema Vahini, be it in Sutra Vahini, or be it in Sathya Sai Vahini, there will be people who will take one or two things.
Exactly.
And once you start implementing them, you will feel, oh my God, why didn't I do this before?
Exactly. Yes,
How,
yes.
how has
yes.
been your experience, sir?
Oh, my experience has been more transformative, brother, in the sense that, I'm a bhajan singer, I'm a Veda chanter, I am also an active Sevadal. Now, what Swami has been saying is that, through the Vahinis, or what I have understood, is that, for every spiritual activity, our drishti should be paramarthika and not vyavaharika, not quantitative and not mechanical exercise. It should have some spiritual dimension. It should have a lot of feeling and bhavam. So the normal activity which we have been doing according to the 9-point code of conduct, be it chanting of Omkaram or Suprabhatam, the Jyotir Dhyana and all that, has now for me has taken a paramarthika angle. What I was doing mechanically with no results, obviously, with Vahinis, with this presentation of Vahinis, because I was involved in creating PowerPoint presentation. We have 106 PowerPoint presentations for this 5-year course. And we as a team create this. So whenever we get involved in presentation, creating presentations, we go deep into the Vahinis and also Swami's discourses on similar topics. So this had a lot of impact. And when we contemplate, as I told you, Mananam and Nididhyasanam, we go to the angle of Nididhyasanam. What we were doing with Vyavaharika angle has now taken a Paramarthika angle. One or two more experiences which I'd like to tell you, which are transformative, is that, I am becoming more equipoised, taking things more in with equanimity, which is what I have learned from Prasanthi Vahini, for example. Prasanthi Vahini, Swami says that Shanti is like a boulder in a sea. It doesn't shake. Any amount of waves come and hit the rock, it doesn't shake. Swami beautifully narrates, Adi odaladu, idi kadaladu. Kadaladu meaning the rock will not shake. Adi odaladu, the life challenges will not stop. Adi odaladu, idi kadaladu. So that kind of a confidence, emphatic, resolute confidence you will gain. I gain through Prasanthi Vahini, wherein we take everything in an egalitarian view. Challenges will come. Appointment చేసుకుంటూనే disappointment అవుతుంది. So you anticipate challenges. But whenever you anticipate challenges don't come. And even if it comes, you have the strength to counter it. So these were the some telling lessons which, possibly Vahini had an impact on me.
So it changes the way you look at life. It changes
changes
the way
exactly.
how you deal with the challenges of life. And it also ensures that how a person who loves Swami, who spends time contemplating on Swami, has a life that is in the face of storm, not like a blade of grass, which sways from this end to that end, but like a sturdy tree which can withstand the tempests of life. And I feel it can not only withstand the tempests, it can also provide shelter to others. As a tree.
Since a tree.
Since it is a tree. I think that is the role of every Sai devotee.
Absolutely. So I think the study of Vahinis, if it has impacted an ordinary devotee like me, will definitely impact others also. Because the kind of intensity with which we study and the kind of prayatna see, Swami always looks at the Purusha prayatnam, and he is a Bhava Priya. He also looks at the Bhava Shuddhi. With the right intention, if we put effort, His grace is bound to flow. I'm not saying the problems will get solved, but you have better strength to counter the problems. That has been my experience, brother.
No, I think, and that is that is what is most needed. Whether
Yes.
somebody is dealing with challenges in his personal life, social life, professional life, corporate life, whatever. I think what we need today is emotional quotient.
Exactly.
I think the person with the best, you may have great IQ,
IQ.
but if you do not have the
EQ.
right emotional quotient, then you probably will not be able to lead a team. You will not be able to achieve.
Exactly.
And I think this is what the study of the Vahinis will do to us. It will give us the right emotional quotient, which is based on spiritual quotient, basically.
Yes,
That
yes.
emotional
yes, yes.
quotient
It's
is
an
not
offshoot of spiritual quotient. Exactly.
spiritual quotient. And I think
Correct.
that is because in today's day and times, to be successful in life, you need great SQ. That is the spiritual
More
quotient.
than the IQ.
More than the IQ.
Because Swami can make a zero a hero, a hero a zero also.
Yes.
So ability, everybody has got. So what the difference is the more of SQ and EQ.
Yes. And
I agree with you.
I'm tempted to say that SQ is Sai quotient. You bring in more Sai quotient
Yes, yes,
into
yes,
your
yes.
life and into your thinking and into your way
Being.
you deal with situations.
Correct.
And I think automatically life will become much more joyful. And I think I'm reminded of Prema Vahini where Swami says that the best thing to happen, I mean, the easiest way to reach God is to be always be joyful.
Exactly,
Swami
exactly.
says towards the end of Prema Vahini, he says that if you
Yes.
have joy, enthusiasm and smile, that's enough. And I think the Vahinis will do that to everyone.
It has to. It will. It will. It is doing.
Yeah, I think that's so. Every side devotee should be a happy person.
Exactly. Exactly.
I remember there's a little message that I also always contemplate on, which is there in Ramakatha Vahini,
Ah.
where Rama, while giving advice after his coronation to all the brothers, when there is a question to him about who is good and who is not good, there Rama says that a good person is like the sandalwood.
Yeah. Swami also has given this example
Yes,
in his
exactly.
other.
It's all Swami's message only that he has written in Ramakatha Vahini.
Exactly.
So
The
I think,
more you cut the
Yes,
sandal,
yeah.
even for not only to the axe, but also the person
Yes.
who is cutting, even he gets the
yeah.
fragrance of
So
the sandal.
person who hurts you
Ah,
also only is blessed with fragrance.
fragrance, yes.
I think
yes.
that is such a powerful way
Message.
that is the way to be so solid in your goodness. And I think that is how Swami expects
Exactly.
all of us to be. And
Exactly.
as you said, if people take one or two things also from Vahinis, it will change their
It will
lives.
change their lives, absolutely. And I think that's the best prescription for today's life of a man. I personally feel Vahinis has been the prescription from God to man to lead, how to lead a life in today's scenario.
Yeah.
So what he wrote between 1958 and 84 has got a lot of relevance today. So after so many years, it has got the relevance today. And Swami, in his own timeline, has planned when that message should come to the surface and when people should read and when people should, actually practice. I think the time has really come now.
That is very interesting what you're saying. Whenever we read the Vahinis, you feel, if you read in the 60s, you felt, oh, this is so appropriate.
Yeah.
If you read it in the 70s, you feel, oh, this is absolutely
Appropriate now.
appropriate now. And even if you're reading it after 50 years now, 50, 60 years now, you feel, oh, this seems so right. So I've written it for this time. I think that's why it's so, they are eternal.
Eternal message.
They are eternal.
Absolutely.
Because mankind has been dealing with these challenges, and yes, the Swami, what he gave for us is for the entire yuga.
Exactly. Absolutely. And he's not giving short-term solutions. He's trying to change your own thinking, personality, and from the basics itself. He's back to basics. He's changing your basics. Then only the transformation happens. When transformation happens, our outlook is different. And the problems don't get solved. But the outlook and the capacity to solve the problem gets changed. And you get that energy.
I think what you mentioned also about what Swami does, when someone asks Swami that, why don't you solve this problem? Swami said, I can solve it. But if the people who are dealing with the problem have not developed enough
Yes.
understanding to deal with it,
Yes.
they will create that problem again.
Exactly.
So it will never be a long-term solution.
Exactly. Yeah.
So he wants that change should happen from within us,
Within.
so that the impact also is lasting.
Exactly.
And-
Exactly.
And, that the very fact that every year you have more and more people signing up shows that people have now started to benefit. Many times earlier, yes, not many people were aware of it. That Swami had written for nearly 318 months.
Yes.
Swami has written from 1958 to 84. Not many people were aware that Swami has written.
They did not even know what Vahinis are. When I go to sadhana camps and say, they say, sir, Vahini, what do you mean by Vahinis? They don't know. So that is from that stage
Yes.
to today is something which is only with blessings of Bhagawan it has happened. And one thing I'd like to share, one observation, brother, is that, after the sessions, we have a Q&A session, 90-minute session and a 30 minutes Q&A. Most of the questions are all not related exactly from the content of the Vahinis, but the problems and the challenges which they are facing every day. It could be home, it could be the society, it could be mostly corporate. How to deal with boss, how to deal with colleagues. My colleague is giving so much of trouble, my boss is... So, how to apply Vahinis in that kind of situation. So, the resource person should not be very alert. He should be more mature, spiritually mature to answer and handle those kind of questions. So, this has been one observation. So, which means that they are getting some kind of a relief or some kind of a hope through the message of the Vahinis.
So it just shows that how it is so relevant to them.
Relevant to them, yes, exactly.
And that anything that is relevant will definitely outlast
Yes.
time. Because, ultimately if Ramayana is still read today, because people find it relevant even
Relevant
now.
today, yes.
And I think
After so many thousands of years.
thousands and yugas. Because even now you can connect with the characters,
Yes.
you can connect with the situations, and
Correct.
you get inspiration how
Yes,
to deal
yes,
with life.
yes.
Yeah.
We get lot of questions on the character of Rama, how Rama handled... Most of the situations too, only possibly the Desha-Kala Paristhiti has changed.
Exactly, yeah.
But the problem is the most or less the
Yes.
same.
Yes.
The challenges, political challenges, then the political challenges today, it's the same. And the Rama principle definitely applies even today.
And the most beautiful thing is when you have the same divine person coming down again in flesh and blood. So now you have any number of examples, because he lived again a life of a human being. So the lessons that we have learned from Swami by just observing Swami
Yes.
are so many that for every sentence of Vahini that Swami has written, we can find an instance from Swami's life or any number of instances from Swami's life, just to see how to live that in our lives. Because Swami has lived that.
Exactly.
Everything that he said, he lived.
Exactly. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Absolutely.
So the master, the message, everything is there. When Bhagawan came, this never before the avatar really wrote down. Even Lord Krishna, he just spoke. And Vyasa Maharshi wrote down later. But this is the only avatar where Swami literally took the pen and wrote, and then lived that message also.
Exactly.
To show us the way. And I think that is how significant the Vahinis are, and with more and more people now understanding and reading. Yes, it can be sometimes a little challenging, but I think that is where Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam comes.
Exactly.
You have to contemplate.
Yes.
So there are more people joining in, and this program is going to continue.
Exactly. This program will definitely continue. And there has been, in fact, there are a lot of work to be done at the Samiti level, where it has reached down to every Samiti and every Bhajan Mandali. I still feel that there are some pockets in some states, people do not or still are not aware of the program. So we need to create a lot of awareness in the coming years and ensure that more and more people subscribe to this course and also get the benefit. Luckily, with Swami's grace, though it is happening in 12 different languages, we have good, learned resource persons in every language batch, be it Gujarati, be it Bengali, and they have read the Vahinis. They are preparing themselves, and we have close to more than 100 and 110 resource persons, all languages put together, who are handling sessions day in and day out, every day from Sunday to Saturday. In some of the, on weekdays, 2-3 sessions are happening. So it is done online, and all these resource persons are tech savvy. They are able to log in, and then they are able to deliver the sessions. 2 hours of sessions, 90 minutes of presentation, and 30 minutes of Q&A.
It's really very beautiful, sir. In today's day and age, when there are so many distractions,
Distractions, yes.
We taking time out and diving deep into such pearls that are there in this ocean called Vahini Sudhamrutam. That is the best way we can spend our time, and
Exactly.
and best way we can sanctify our lives. When we miss Swami, especially Aradhana time is the you keep thinking about Swami, you keep thinking about his form, and you miss him more. But you also know that the only way to feel Swami now is through his Vahinis. Only way to feel the love of the master is through his message.
Messages, exactly. There cannot be a better occasion than this, when we are this year having the certification program. Just one day before the Aradhana Mahotsavam. And Aradhana Mahotsavam is a time for us to express gratitude. And I earnestly appeal to all the students and resource persons to offer their gratitude, especially this year. It is coinciding with the Aradhana Mahotsavam. I think it's the best tribute which we can pay to our master. And as you rightly said, the message of the master is more powerful than his own miracles, because Swami never gave importance to his miracles.
I think I am really reminded of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. If you go to any Gurudwara, what do we worship? We worship the Guru Granth Sahib.
Guru Granth Sahib, the message.
Now, that is the message. The message is what is worshipped as the master.
Yes.
In every Gurudwara.
Correct. Exactly.
And on Aradhana day, if we have to worship anything, we have to worship this message only. Because the message and the master are synonymous.
Synonymous.
And Swami literally said, my life is my message. And I think there is no better way to offer our gratitude to Swami. And the 100th birthday celebrations is on, and I think that's again a beautiful message from Bhagawan when he has brought both these days together. It's again a very significant message. Swami is telling you, if you are missing me, go and dive into my message.
Absolutely.
I think that's such a beautiful thing. So before we conclude, can I ask you to share some of your powerful moments with Swami? You lived with Swami for so many years. You've seen Swami from the 70s. Something about him just hooked you to him.
To me personally, if you ask me, more than the, as we were discussing, more than the miracles or more than the personal experience, which are individualistic, which is based on your samskaras and your previous life's, actions, karmas. What has really struck me about Bhagavan is his message. The simplicity with which he talks. I got attracted to Bhagavan through his messages. And I enjoy listening to his discourses. I enjoy reading his books. More than reading his books, I really enjoy listening to his discourses, because the sweetness of the Telugu, the sweetness of his language, and the way he presents it with good examples, and he comes back to the same topic. He doesn't deviate. These are things of articulation which we lead to. Living with God is true education, they say. And I have learned personally, it has impacted on my life, is his message. And I have been a vivid listener of his discourses. That is why I distinctly remember a lot of Bhagavan's padyams, which has made a lot of impact. Because I know a bit of Telugu. I can appreciate the kind of literary brilliance in his this one. Like, for example, I get remembered of a padyam, which,
Please, go on.
he talks about how an ideal day should be. He says, Sadbhaktulandaru భగవంతుడాయనుచు చెవులు కింపుగ స్మరణ చెయ్యు దినము బీదల వెతలన్నీ ప్రీతితో నెరవేర్చి అన్నదమ్ముల మార్కు ఉన్న దినము దైవ చింతన చెయ్యు దాస వృందమునకు ప్రీతి మృష్టాన్నము పెట్టు దినము మహనీయులెవరైన మనకడకే తెంచి చెలిమి భగవత్కథలు చెప్పు దినము దినము కానీ తక్కినవన్నీయు తద్దినములే. No, this one has really impacted me. I have made notes of this. I have listened to this padyam 10-20 times, made notes because I can't read Telugu. So I can only write in English, this one in words. And then I started by hearting it. So these kind of padyams are very many. And it has made a lot of impact on me. The simplicity.
I think you should go on and give us your understanding of this padyam, because it was in Telugu,
I'll
not
tell
many
you.
would have understood.
Swami says how is an ideal day of a devotee should be.
Exactly.
So Sadbhaktulandaru Bhagavantuda Enshu, the day when Swami devotees come together and think about, praise the glory of God, the day when you solve the problems of poor people and make them united in a family, the day in which you invite somebody and make him talk about the love of Bhagawan, of God to the devotees. These are the actions which you have to do in an ideal day. Only then it can be called as a day. That means for Swami, if you want to say that I have spent one day, it is this. It is not living like, for example, Swami says, Nidra Nindi Lechi, Nidra Boyudaka, Pottakai Haddulu Poduleka. So if you are living roti kapda and makan and thing, I, me and mine, that is not a day. That he compares to a day of obituary. Takkina vanyu taddinamulya, matlab everything else is all the day of obituary. So that is the standard he is setting for a devotee. Now if you have to reach that level, you can imagine how much of sadhana we need to do to reach that level. Vahinis will help to reach that level. Because every word in Vahini is a telling message of individual transformation, brother. Swami makes it, ensure that, you do the sadhana of the Swadhyaya and ensure that, and every sentence is a telling message where, he is expecting you to lead life at a certain standard. Anything less than that is not acceptable to our Lord. And most of us do a lot of blunders there. Most of us deviate from the standard set. So that is where the gap need to be filled with the sadhana. This is what I understand. So to answer your question about, I have been having a lot of personal experience, but they are very small to be shared. But then the greatest impact on my life has been his message. That has really brought in the transformation. And whatever little transformation I have been having from the past, how I was, has been his message, is what I want to share.
Oh, beautiful. And I think even in our university also, and there are a lot of youngsters. While yes, miracles might fascinate you when Bhagawan was physically there, okay, Swami materializing something, Swami curing someone's cancer, all that definitely stuns you. But I know of so many youngsters, they loved Swami also because of the way he brought that new dimension in their thinking. Just like as a youngster, you were also drawn to that. But for Bhagawan, university students would not have been thinking in this manner.
Exactly.
And I think that's a huge blessing.
Exactly.
And a huge impact that the Sri Sathya Sai Avatar has done to humanity. Never before you had PhD students, people in their 30s, 20s, teens saying, oh, I want to read deep philosophy. I want to understand the meaning of life. And I want to ensure that my days are not days of obituary, but my days of
real
days,
day.
Holy days. They become really holy days.
Yes.
And I think that's a huge transformation.
Absolutely. And we have resource persons, not in their, even in their maybe slightly above their middle of the age. They have not seen Swami.
Yes.
They have not had a single darshan of Swami. They are handling sessions or Vahinis. Who can create that impact?
Yes.
We have had students who have never had Swamis. They have not even visited Parthi. They have been impacted by the message of Vahinis. So that is the power of his message, coming back to the same subject.
And one very interesting thing also, when we read Bhagawan's discourses and Vahinis, the same thing, you would have read 20 years ago, it would have meant something for you.
Exactly.
And you
at
read
this stage
10
of
years
life
later, you read, now you feel, oh, I never thought of it this way. Now you read and you feel, oh my God, my understanding was so shallow before. As you evolve, the message that it gives you also evolves.
Yes. The freshness of the message also evolves. The message is still fresh.
Yes, yeah. And that is something because of which the more you read, the more sweetness you will get. And as you said, it will be ever fresh.
Ever fresh. Exactly. Exactly. That is why it is eternal. Yes. Truly, the word eternity, eternal message, it applies to this.
And I think that is the reason why, people are reading and rereading and rereading, because every time they read, they feel, oh, I have understood something that I never had grasped till now. Yes. And I think that is the way it should also be read. Like Swami used to say, Ramayana is like sugar cane.
Yes.
You keep chewing and you'll keep getting the sweetness more and more. And there's nothing sweeter about Swami than his message.
Exactly.
And I think
the impact, one more aspect I would like to add here, is supposing a student has registered and he or she is attending, the whole family attends together. So it is not just the message is not going to one person, the whole family. And if they are not interested in the message, why will they come and sit together and listen? So this has been, one more impact which the Vahinis sessions have created, brother.
And that is what Swami always wanted also.
Yes.
Even Swami used to always say that, like charity begins at home, the transformation should begin.
Also begins at home.
It should also begin at home.
It should also begin at home.
Before you can, and Swami said, you don't even have to go out and tell anyone. I mean, the way you conduct your life will itself.
It's a silent message.
It's you become the silent ambassadors of his message if you live that life. And if people feel that, oh, this family is very different, that itself is enough, is our tribute to Swami.
Exactly.
And that it is becoming a collective activity, I think that is the most heartening development. So you have people who today living in the world of IT, we are constantly looking for Wi-Fi, but actually what we should be doing is sci-fi our lives.
Sci-fi.
and the way to sci-fi our lives is to read the Vahinis.
We need to Vahinize our life.
Yes, Vahinize our life. Yeah, and I think that's the way to deal with the challenges of
Absolutely.
of the
No doubt
modern
about
time.
it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.